The following program contains strong language and is not suitable for viewers under 18.
Let's talk about sex. It's time we slice through the smoke and mirrors, go down the hidden depths of relationships. Because we've got new.
What if the man is the provider, and then right now the economy is killing everybody?
A woman who truly loves you, cares about you, she sees the greatness in you before you do.
My money is my money. Your money is our money.
money.
I'll use this one. And they hide what they have.
Yeah.
They don't tell your husband.
It's not hiding, it's saving.
Saving.
For our future. The law in Nigeria doesn't favor, like if you're going through a divorce, it doesn't favor the woman, to be honest.
And being in charge is not necessarily your account balance. It's the respect the woman has for you and the respect you have for your woman.
If bringing in the bacon and balancing the love that you want or the love that you have right now is something that you have on your mind, then make sure you keep yourself glued to the screen for the next 30 minutes, because I have something that you absolutely need. This is Love Lounge. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to Love Lounge. I have two amazing people in the house with me. I feel very, very privileged actually to have, well, technically you said I'm one of your first on-screen kisses. No?
Really?
No? Yeah. We didn't actually make out,
kiss, but
it's never too late.
It was very sensual.
Action.
It was a sensual something.
Really?
But Dayam Yolokola, very awesome to have you in the building today.
Thank you.
And well, why do I have two dilfs in, first of all?
Yeah?
There's something in the air. Dilfs.
Yeah.
Look it up. D-I-L.
No, I know.
Okay. You don't feel like a dilf?
No. No. And we've not had our first scene, so.
Welcome, Oscar. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
So let's get straight into the topic. Is it okay for the woman to be the breadwinner in the family?
Yes.
No.
Why are you saying yes and shaking your head? Doesn't work that way.
Because that's the true answer. It's a mixture of yes and no.
So your mind is saying yes, but your body's saying no.
Back is telling me yes. I don't know. Things have changed. Things have changed. I think the breadwinner is traditionally the guy, the man. And every woman loves to be protected.
Traditionally or historically?
Traditionally, historically.
Okay.
I'm going with tradition more because of our country.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, things have changed, times have changed. But I think it's the place of the man to provide. He is the provider.
What if the man is the provider, and then right now the economy is killing everybody, and people keep saying that in Nigeria the man is more likely to lose his job over the woman for whatever reason, right? Because women still have a little bit more influence, or we look a certain way, so sometimes our bosses don't fire us as quickly
You look a
as
certain
the
way.
guys. Womanly, voluptuously.
Yeah.
Sometimes we actually encounter a lot more sexual harassment than you guys do, and again we tend to keep our jobs.
I've been sexually harassed.
That's fine.
I've been
You have,
sexually harassed.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen to the guys in Nigeria, but
I didn't
the incidence
complain.
is higher.
We never just complain.
Yeah, we
See,
did.
that's the thing about guys.
I'm not saying we enjoyed it.
So what if the guy started out being the breadwinner, but then he lost his job through no fault of his own? Should he then still have an issue because his wife is now, or his partner, could be his girlfriend even, is now the breadwinner?
Okay, let's just go at this from another angle. What's this whole breadwinner situation thing about? What's
The person that's bringing in the bacon.
Yeah, but why?
That's milking
why,
the cow.
Why?
That's
why
farming
should,
the land.
Why should one
I know
person?
I'm doing that because I'm not
be-
grabbing balls, but
I thought that was like a milk thing.
No, milk is this.
No, milk is
This
yes.
one is balls.
Oh, right.
No, you don't milk a cow like that.
No,
That's
this
just
is
playing with the
no,
titties.
No, that's a kitten.
Milking is this.
You've not milked a cat.
A
That's how you
cat.
milk
Who
cats.
milks a cat?
You've not milked a cat?
No.
Seriously? Maybe you guys should hang out with me one of these
Please
days.
no.
You milk cats.
Let
like
me
this.
please. Let's come back to
Okay, so what's
the
this?
part of the world that doesn't milk cats.
What is this thing about breadwinner? Because the way I see it, the way I understand it, culture changes. People grow, people learn new things. There's been a transformation. If you look how things were done maybe 30, 20 years ago, things have changed now. And if we still keep the status quo, especially in relationships, we can see a lot of things aren't working. So if things aren't working, it's the onus is on us to start to figure out how to make it work and fix it. So this whole breadwinner thing, I think, is where the issue is. Why do we feel as though one sex in a relationship should be responsible for the finances or for the financial well-being of the family?
I even think the issue is not necessarily the finance of as in who brings it in. It's every other thing after that. Because at the end of the day, the clock keeps ticking, the bills keep coming. So the money must come. But there's the issue of, I'm the woman, or I'm the guy, I don't have the money, I don't have a job. The woman brings the money, then she becomes disrespectful. So it's all those other issues, I think, that brings the problem. But fundamentally, I don't think there's any problem with either side bringing in the bacon.
So, Jamie, you were speaking earlier about how you don't think the roles of the breadwinner or the title of breadwinner should be attached to a particular sex.
Exactly.
But then what about the fact that sometimes you find yourself in a relationship with someone who's happy being that guy who sits on the sofa or the girl who sits on the sofa? You want to be a kept woman. You want to be that lady who does lunch with friends. Or you want to be that guy who, is looked after and people bring stuff for you but you don't do anything.
Yeah, but why would you be in a relationship with such a person if you're... I think that we just need to revisit these things. I find that a lot of times, well, traditionally we've seen that women tend to expect men to be the quote unquote breadwinners, right? But with the fact that women are working more, back in the days when that used to happen, most women would stay home. They were stay-home mothers. But there was even a lot of work being done.
There was still a lot of work.
Being a housewife, is a lot of work.
Housewife, mother, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, but now we're both in the office working, and still people expect that, because I hear that thing a lot where they say, the man pays the house rent or pays the school fees.
I think the fundamental truth, which we need to get on board very quickly if you haven't, is the fact that whatever rules you grew up with don't necessarily conform anymore. You're in a world where you have young billionaires. You're in a world where what's between
Male and female.
You're in a world where what's between your eyes, that's your brain, could generate as much revenue as all your generation put together in a year. And with all this money and all these opportunities, they come with certain responsibilities as well. Some people are equipped for it, some are not. So if you're in a home where your wife develops a brilliant idea and it's patented and she's getting royalties and she's sitting at home making so much money, I won't say because I'm a breadwinner, we won't sit together and find how we can make it work for us, because at the end of the day, it's about the family. But that's from me. There's some people that just can't wrap their head around the fact that their wives earn more or work in a place where they're in a higher position. And that is where I feel the issue is, not necessarily the money, but the position, the titles, the perks, and how it makes the guy feel in that
Because,
But then what
because
if-
he
what
who
if-
has it just feels like the power shift goes to the person who's bringing bringing the money
and that's
in.
where the issue is, not the money. It's not saying there's nothing wrong with the
So
root
true
of
story.
Yeah,
True story. I quit my job 2013 to act full time. I had a pretty decent job. And see, all the things we say, we don't really understand until we get into the situation, right? So here I was, fresh out of work, acting now, and you know how it is. You kind of have to build your career. So for a while, I wasn't pulling my weight as I should, or I used to.
Not that you weren't working, you were working.
I was
a
working,
lot,
but it just
you
wasn't.
weren't, it
wasn't as much as
bill money,
exactly.
right.
Like it is now.
And no.
Do you know how much his rider was?
And the funny thing is, no fault of hers. But I just became so grumpy. All of a sudden I started to feel, I think, threatened in some way or the other that, I couldn't do these things, that I used to.
Or is it a perception then, or is it a fear
It's-
within
it's-
you that, okay, because I know who I was when I initially was working this particular job, earning this amount,
I think we
will
kinda-
she start disrespecting me? Will she see me as a lesser man? Will she be tempted to go hang out with somebody else who has more money?
It's up to the man to understand the woman. Now I'm going to bring this home. I quit my job earlier this year, and it was a good paying job. It was everything. Part of the things that the women love about their men could also be the problem. That is, I'm a guy who, when I have a vision or an idea, I go for it. I can relate with Demi, you understand? And when that happens, the woman knows that this man, this guy, this whoever, this breadwinner, this boyfriend, this husband of mine, it's part of the package. So if I decide to take a step out, I had to, now this is where the compromise came in. My wife now said, okay, sit down, give me a plan. Let me know that when you're out of a job, you can at least pay your salary. Those are the things I needed to address. She wasn't against the idea of leaving the job per se, but every other fear that comes with leaving the job. So it's up to the man, in a nutshell, to still hold the home or hold the relationship together and still guarantee that security.
Now I have a question. So people like you, your idealist, entrepreneurial spirit is inside you, it's inside your DNA, right?
Something like that.
Do you think that sometimes it matters what it is that you do? So if you're not necessarily someone who wants to sit on the sofa and be a kept man, but you have a particular role that you want to play, like a job or something. So maybe for you, you want to be CEO of the first fishing company in Nigeria or something, right? And the woman wants to be with, I don't know, an engineer or doctor or something. So it's not necessarily that you're not the breadwinner, but you have something that's not the typical standard. Oh,
job.
this is what does your husband do? He's a fisher man.
Or he milks cats.
He milks cats, you know. Could you please answer my question from earlier? Does it matter what your job title is in your relationship? Whether it's loafer, fisher,
Does it matter to me?
man, carpenter, man.
To me?
No, in general, in people's relationships, should it matter what your job title is?
I don't think so.
No,
I think
it-
what
it-
matters is the person, right? You know, but people like all these extra attachments. So
the title is actually a message that says you are safe. When you're a woman and you tell your girlfriends that my husband is a doctor, what you're actually telling them is, oh, he has a good job to keep me safe. He can provide.
No,
So
but you say that, right? There have been stories this year about people who got married and ran away from the altar because, oh, this person that they thought worked in an oil company was actually the janitor in the oil company, as opposed to you've heard them, as opposed to the oil and gas magnate.
then it's a good thing. It's a good thing she ran. Then the
So the
marriage was never
title-
meant to be. The title, to a large extent, guarantees or gives the illusion of security. I mean, you have oil workers that were laid off this year. You have bankers that were laid off. You have doctors who've been on strike and haven't been paid. So at the end of the day, when the push comes to shove, it's about the two people in question understanding each other. And I've always said this to my guys who are single or on their way to being married. A woman who truly loves you, cares about you, she sees the greatness in you before you do. And it's that greatness she hangs on to when you say you want to become an actor or you want to be an entrepreneur. And when you fall short of that, that is where the issues come in. And that's why your wife, for example, I believe, could hold the fort while you were pursuing your dream. And look at you about 3-4 years later now.
But I
things are
know
happening.
something about Deyemi. Deyemi is not just an actor. Deyemi does some other side gigs that people don't even know about.
Milks cats.
He milks cats.
We're back to the
he
cat.
makes
Worried about
silent
the cat.
money. The cat, well, it's his cats that you're milking, not mine.
I just want to make it a thing. Make it to be a meme or
so
something.
I was born an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
So
So for somebody like you, it's easy to believe and invest into the future because I know that this guy is not a loafer. But then when we think about, for instance, you want to send your child to certain schools in Nigeria, send the school fees for the year is anything from 500k, 200k, depending what school it is,
term.
1.8 million naira, 2 million naira even. So can you blame your partner, be it male or female, for them wanting a proper two-income household? Because they're like, by the time we pay
Let's give
rent,
them dirt. Let's give her dirt.
rent is like 3 million, 4 million naira, including diesel costs and everything. You have a car, driver, right? School fees, school uniform, books and all that. You're both fathers now, right? So can you blame your partners
No.
necessarily if they're like, no, I need my husband to be the breadwinner, bringing in a bulk of the money, and all I know is the money I earn is to, look after my hair and make sure I look pretty for him.
But that doesn't do much for the woman, does it? It doesn't. You see
I
that?
know,
the
looking pretty does plenty
the
for
problem,
me.
The problem I have with that is I want to be surrounded by people who are exploring their true selves and they're adventurous about their own lives, and they're growing as people. Now, if I see that a lot of times when we play it safe, and this is for men and women, and we try to play it safe. If you stick to a job that you shouldn't even be at because you're not happy with it and things like that, you don't get to become the best that you can be, So when I tell, and I have this conversation with my wife all the time, and I keep telling her that, look, you can be more, you can do more, and I'm here to be, your support, whatever it is that you try to do, I'll be there for you, But I just want to see that you're constantly pushing yourself forward. The flip side to that is, I find that a lot of women who do the whole "my money is my money, your money is our money,"
Our money.
I'll use this one, and they hide what they have.
Yeah.
They don't tell your husband.
It's not hiding, it's saving.
Saving.
And
For our future.
in case the husband
My
leaves you,
future.
because they say men cannot be trusted.
Yeah, have
No, because
a
also
secret stash.
the law in Nigeria doesn't favor, like if you're going through a divorce, it doesn't favor the woman, to be honest, when it comes to monetary terms.
It's let me even shock you. When my wife and I were dating, one of the things I made up my mind to do is to make sure that I set some things up in her name. God forbid, if anything happens to you, yes, you pay your insurance, you just go off the face of the earth. One of the qualities I was looking for in my wife was being able to actually hold it down.
Yeah.
So it's to my advantage for my children to empower her as much as I can. Now, it's a 50-50 thing. It might work out. if she becomes very egotistical, it's a chance I'm willing to take. But the flip side is, what if she now turns it around? And by default, women are better managers. My wife, for example, is a fantastic, when it comes to that, I mean, I don't always go the right way, but whenever I do put some things in her hands, she has a way of multiplying it. Women do that. And even leave love, just from business point of view, it makes more logical sense to invest and partner with somebody who will help you grow. So when a guy understands that, then I think it begins to edge off all the fears and all the worries and all the things that come with.
Very quick question now. If that's the case, why is it that in most relationships, when the couple comes together and decide to save money and they decide, okay, you know what, one of us needs to get an MBA done or PhD or whatever it is and further our education, most of the times it's usually the guy that gets to go first. So based on what you're saying, you have to trust that the other person will be exactly. Why is it that it's always the guy that goes first?
It's not
and
always.
in most instances, you also find that the guy will now come back with his MBA and the wife doesn't get to do that. So if you're investing in your future, surely the person you trust the most with the financial security of your future should be the one you send. Okay,
Well,
go and do your
in a
MBA.
husband and wife scenario, yes, I'm not really particular about who goes first. When you're dating, maybe that's a different scenario. But when you're a couple and you have already planned how you should go, if the guy goes for an MBA first, it means that when he comes back in his job portfolio, whatever, he'll get a higher pay.
But the
higher
MBA
position.
costs what is it these
So
days?
hold on,
Like 50
million.
or
It's-
$60,000.
There's a plan to it.
And
But
while
let me-
he's
let me-
gone, not
let
only
me-
have you guys paid for him to go on his MBA, but you as the woman, you're now the breadwinner. You're sending money for him to eat or whatever it is. If it's
Pending the
Lagos
time he
Business
gets
School,
back.
wherever, pending time he gets back. And then when he comes back, he has to have a very good job and then start paying you
wanted to say
back.
something.
All right, so part of my wife and I's plans were that one of the plans was go back to school, right? Now she's gone.
After she gave you the time off to pursue
What
your
you-
own dreams, right? So you got to go first, which again is proving my point.
Not necessarily.
Did you do an MBA?
Not necessarily.
No, but
I didn't.
she
Okay, but
allowed,
he took
for lack of a better phrase, she allowed him
To pursue his
dreams, to quit working 9 to
Okay.
5 and act. You've been doing it for 2 years
3
full
years,
time
3
now.
years.
3 years, right?
full-time, yeah.
Before now, she was allowed to go off and do
No,
her
not
own.
necessarily. Okay, so before I could.
Oh, you
Look, it
get-
isn't
get
that
out of
simple.
this one.
It's not that
This
simple.
I
No,
got, yeah.
because it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's
Because
not.
I went and I said, "Oh, baby, you know, I've always said there might be this acting thing. I have a passion for it.
Might.
There might be.
Carry on.
Okay, so
yeah.
while we were dating, she had seen a few things that I'd done, skits and short films and the likes, which I did a lot of those. Part of the conversation was that, oh, there's a chance that, you know, this would happen. This could be something I would do, even if it was for a little while, just to express myself. And so when the opportunity came, I had this long conversation with her, and I said, baby, what do I need to put on the table to be able to go chase my dreams? So it wasn't leaving her to become the breadwinner. It was making sure everything was set and the
Before
whole
you
family
plunged
was
into
safe.
it.
So did
Before
you
plunging.
save money beforehand,
Yes,
or
I
you
think
just
I
agreed that?
The money was saved. She told me
Okay.
exactly how much we needed to have saved, told me exactly what we needed to have put in place, you know, accommodation, whatever it was that we're doing.
Sure, I'm
And
not married to the same wife.
you see, we
The
just
woman
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that happened, and luckily, because I had I still have a very big savings culture. I was able to, you know, put everything together, and then I took the plunge. Not long after that, when I saw that, you know, acting could be a career, it took me about a year or two to really even accept that I was an actor, because I always thought I was going to go back to work.
I know I met you a few times where you literally show me job offers that he got via email of, and he was like, should I still do this? Or
Yeah.
like,
It's a real dilemma when you. I mean, there are two things: when you have no choices and when you have too many options. I'm even still struggling with that. Where you look at your savings, it's depleted. You look at the projects you're doing; they look promising, but
nothing's
you
coming.
you wish you could just have that 9 to 5 kind of security.
Right.
But the flip side of that is actually the engine you need as an entrepreneur to actually sit down and get your thinking cap on.
Exactly.
Not to sulk and blame. And in my scenario, my case, my wife, she's been fantastic in terms of holding things down. We have a set of twin girls, so no matter whatever it is we're both earning, we need to double up, literally. I always joke, like, oh, do your kids look alike? I said no, but their school fees do. And we understand this. And there are days you'll be like, okay, you know what? I want to go shopping. Like, you know, I don't have anything. What's my tab? or you owe me X amount. And when money comes, I just credit her account and I make up for it. So we have that back and forth. It's about understanding and the fact that I dated my wife for 4 years. But in this economy, in this country, in this time and age, people are very impatient. Nobody wants to invest in anybody's future dream, etc. So you find out that usually you go to the highest bidder, you go to the guy who looks most secure. And you can't
That's
really
not necessarily
blame,
the best.
It's not the best, but you can't blame somebody who's like, this guy I've been dating for, you hear people who've been dating for 5 years, engaged for X amount of years, the guy hasn't popped in question, the girl is there withering away, and you begin to be
When
like...
you say wither, now,
Well, you know what we mean. Not,
We do
not,
not
not,
wither.
not.
Did I
in
say
a-
wither?
we are not leaves. We do not crumble.
Okay, I retract that. Are they going to edit that?
They will.
There is one thing.
I have a
There is one
message
thing.
here from
Yeah.
Facebook I want to share with you.
Okay, cool.
All right. So this is from Chooks Dimba, who says, I'd made plans for my wedding. Unfortunately, about a month ago, I lost the job that I had. I have enough money saved for the wedding, which is supposed to hold 2 months from now. My soon-to-be partner has a very good job and she's doing very well. I'm considering postponing the wedding until I get a good job. However, she's insisting we go ahead with the wedding regardless. I don't think I can go on with the wedding because I'm afraid she will change when we finally move in together. What do you think?
There's only one way to find out, man. Have faith in your wife. You know, take that plunge. If she misbehaves, let her know why and why you're upset about it, but don't hold back, because the flip side of this argument is if you keep holding it back, she will now believe that the day he doesn't have money, nothing happens, or he doesn't feel in charge. And being in charge is not necessarily your account balance. It's the respect the woman has for you and the respect you have for your woman. Every other thing is just aesthetics.
I like that you're both nodding on that. If you agree with us, then or you disagree, feel free to send us a tweet right now. This is Love Lounge. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week. Or better yet, check us out on YouTube right now because we're going to keep talking.
No.
You're not like Donald Trump. You don't like to grab the thing.
No,
You just leave.
is this going on air? Are we allowed to say
Yes.
Oh my God!
Pussycats.
Pussycat.
Yeah.
Pussycat.
So do you like grabbing?
No, I don't actually.
No. Pussy at a time. Or you like milking?
Oh, where can you kiss your mother with that
I'm
mouth?
asking you. I do kiss my mother with my mouth.
What else do you do with your mouth?
A lot of things.
So we'll be back for another episode of Love